Welcome, everyone, to another Inspirational Entrepreneur Spotlight interview. Hi, I'm Virginia Parsons, your host, and it is my passion to shine the spotlight on business owners' expertise. Today, I'm continuing a series of interviews with a group of co authors from a powerful new book called Teach Your Expertise, which has recently been released on Amazon. The authors will be sharing their stories and how they discovered the power of teaching what they know by creating an online course. Now, today's guest is Christina Solstad. She is the creator of Unlock Your Money Mojo, a spiritual program for entrepreneurs who want to create radical shifts in their relationship with money. With her many years as a scientist, including at Harvard Medical School, Christina brings a grounded approach to her spiritual work. Her clients range from brand new business owners who want to make more money to wildly successful entrepreneurs who struggle to keep and grow their cash flow and are looking for more ease in bringing their gifts to the world. Now, Christina's client roster includes Fortune 5,000 companies, brick and mortar businesses, entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and more. And when Christina is not helping her clients create true inner and outer abundance, you can find her taking a long stroll down the beach or planning her next adventure to Chaco Canyon, Africa, Egypt, Nepal, New Zealand, Australia, wherever her heart calls her. Welcome, Christina. It's so great to have you here today.
Oh, thank you for that introduction, Virginia. I am so excited to be here with you. It's such an exciting time for us.
I know it really is. And particularly since Teach Your Expertise was released a week ago and ended up an international bestseller in I think over 5 categories. So we are so excited to bring your expertise, your experience, and also what you created in your chapter in the book to everyone to encourage them to take advantage of this special that's ending today. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. But let's start with you, Christina. I'd really like our viewers to know a bit about your background, your journey, how you went from, as we showed here, science, energy, and spirituality. Oh my! And how this all blended together. So, can you give us a little background about that?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, first of all, I'm oldest of 4 kids. My parents were scientists. So part of the going into science was that, but much, much more than that, what they instilled in us and what I grew up with as a big part of my life was just really a fascination with the magic of life and of nature and that curiosity. And so that really informs my entire life, everything I've done in my life. And so I did go into science, but even before that, my brother reminded me of this actually, is that my mother, the scientist, introduced us to meditation when I was in high school. I mean, I remember, eyes closed being guided through these fabulous meditations. And then I learned transcendental meditation in college, and that just really started my whole spiritual exploration and journey as I was being a scientist. And I did biomedical research for several years after college, and then I got into environmental chemistry, the white lab coat, goggles, the whole thing at the lab bench. And that really fascinated me as well. And so along the way in being a scientist, and I'll say too, I had many years in corporate as well. So I bring all of that to bring kind of the really grounded aspect of spirituality that I now bring to my clients. So
I'm just going to interject for a moment and then you can continue your story. But what I'm hearing is, as you say, an amazing balance between right brain and left brain thinking, and a merging of the two with the idea that you can be spiritual and you can be scientific all at the same time. And you learned and were introduced to that through meditation early on. So many people need the exposure to meditation, I believe, especially in this day and age, at this time, more than ever. So it's so wonderful to realize how you've merged that. So go on with your story.
Oh, yes. Thank you for saying that. That is really, really important. And um, for me, it took me a long time to realize that most people see either science or spirituality. They don't really see that the two go beautifully together. And I've always seen that ever since I was a little kid, actually. And that's something that totally fascinates me. And so I'm really able to be that bridge between science and spirituality, between concepts that seem very different. And it also helps me to see things that my clients don't see. You know, excuse me, in the role of a coach, that's part of our job, really, to be able to get this different perspective. But I can also really see how things fit together that you might not normally think they do, which really works well for people and for me in my life as well. And so that's been a lifelong fascination. And I've been a lifelong meditator as well. So I learned, I became a Reiki master. So I started exploring really energy itself. And I became a Reiki master and taught Reiki for a while. And then I actually learned an energy coaching technique that I spent 10 months learning with my mentor. My lifelong lessons has been trusting my own intuition and really listening to that inner guidance, those nudges, that kind of thing, which is also something I help people with and that comes through in my work. And when I joined that program, before I even knew there was a program to learn energy coaching, I heard the instructor in another program I was in with him coaching someone. And I had an inner knowing that I want to learn how to do that. And so that really was the beginning of my interest in actually coaching people and using what I knew to help transform people's lives. That was the beginning of that journey. And so it just really continued from there. I didn't learn the business of coaching at that point. That came later. And so I just continued to explore, well, what is it that I can really help people with? And then for any business owners know, it's an evolution, and we continue to evolve in the process of life and in doing our business, right? It's one of the greatest learnings is having a business, actually. And it really stretches you, it grows you, it evolves you. And that's certainly happened with me. And so I ended up getting several certifications related to kind of the inner game, the energetics of money and abundance. And which is a lot of what I help people with now, but it's really much bigger than that. I'm super passionate about really people knowing, especially spiritual women entrepreneurs, knowing and seeing their own brilliance, their own magnificence, their own gifts that they hold within themselves, and helping them bring that out into the world and living a really abundant life. And money is a part of that abundance, definitely. And it's a part of how we live in this world today, right?
It's the reality. And I think it's very interesting. I'm just going to interject again. You know, life really is a journey, especially if you've been around a few decades, right? And you never know. I never knew, you know, even 10 years ago, I'd be doing what I'm doing today because the technology didn't exist, right?
Yeah.
At least not for, you know, people who couldn't afford to spend, you know, millions of dollars for, you know, a studio setup, so to speak. But I'm getting at the journey that you went through from your science background and many years in corporate working that to pushing that all aside, because I'm remembering part of your chapter on this, and totally embracing this new way of being and taking your passion for meditation and then learning that you could be, you know, use this for coaching and also for healing. I mean, that's a big journey shift. Certainly takes a mindset shift as well. But as you're on this journey, isn't it interesting that you're not prepared for the business of it? If you're working in corporate, you have certain criteria you have to follow just to do your job, your job. But when you become an entrepreneur, there is a whole aspect of that that's business oriented that you've just got to embrace if you want to survive in business. So
Yeah.
you said I became a coach, but I was never trained in the business of coaching. And I think this is very important for our viewers to just think through. If you're in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, no matter what your passion is, make sure that you also include education and training on the business of success. Now, this combined with your new passion and your science background, the whole package, which I love about you, which makes you so holistic, Christina. How did you decide then to go from the coaching element, which is generally one-to-one, into creating a course? What inspired you to go in that direction?
Oh my goodness, it's interesting because well, first I want to say one thing that kind of goes to what you're just saying is it's really important for us to realize that all of our life really contributes to how we can serve people and how we can impact people in our life, right? Don't leave any of those parts of you behind because it all can contribute. And it's only really been relatively recently that I've kind of brought my science background back into the fold in a more visible way. I was kind of leaving that out, but I realize it's really an important part of it. It's what I do anyway, but I just really hadn't spoken about it. And so I didn't, when people asked me about creating a program, I really didn't, it's kind of funny to think about now. I didn't think I had something to do a program on. And I didn't want to just regurgitate what other people, what I'd learned from other people. I wanted it to be my own thing. I wanted it to be kind of a coalescing who I was and what I brought to the table in my own way, which I think is what is really important for any entrepreneur or business owner to realize, right? That's what really has us stand out, and why in the competitive world, we may be I call myself an intuitive business coach, right? But but there's a lot of people that could call themselves a business coach, but it's how what we each bring to the table and our energy that's behind it that's gonna draw our ideal clients to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
that's the big differentiator. And I think you've made such an important point because I'm not sure that everyone puts enough value on that unique life experience that differentiates them from everyone else. And as a coach and as a business coach, I'll bet that you spend some time and energy helping people with that, helping uplift them and helping them validate their value, because that's got to be a big part of the money mojo income stream, right?
Yeah, it's a huge part of what I do actually with people. And because a lot of people think the same things. Well, what do I have of value, or who cares about that? Well, really, they do. And so when it came to my program, it was when I realized that it's an interesting thing. As a scientist, there's the left brain, right? You mentioned, and then the creative part, the intuitive, the spiritual part is more the left brain. And when I was working really hard at what do I want to create, it wasn't coming. It felt really hard. And when I was able to just let go of working so hard at it, which is part of what my Money Mojo program is about, not having to work so hard for the money, right? And really just kind of let go and allowed the guidance, allowed the inspiration to come, then the idea for the program came, and I realized, yeah, is my program. This isn't a regurgitation of somebody else's stuff. And as a matter of fact, one of my participants told me that I didn't teach money in abundance like anybody else. And I was like, oh, right. So then I was able to create the program, and then it just kind of flowed, the Unlock Your Money Mojo program. So that's how I came to actually create the program.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand that that's how it evolved. When you finally let go and accepted that your process was unique, and then you had it reaffirmed by one of your clients, which, that's great. That feedback is always wonderful, especially when you're creating a new program. So, what is the biggest lesson, Christina, that you learned as a result of creating your online course?
Oh my goodness. I would say that the biggest thing, I do have something of value to offer, which I would say for all the readers, you have the listeners, you do have something of value to offer that can really help people. And that I didn't have to do it like other people. I could do it my own way, because I really just looked at, well, what am I already doing with my clients? How am I already helping them? And that went in to the program. And to really listen to my own intuitive wisdom and guidance and experience, and allow that to inform what it is that I'm doing, and know that that's going to really help me to serve people even better.
So important, so important. And again, that talks a lot about the evolution of a course when you create one. It's kind of a living, breathing expression of yourself and your knowledge. And then when you get the feedback, especially if you do a pilot program, which we all learned to do from Alina Vincent, who has mentored so many of us, you really do have this, I call it this living, breathing organism. But let's talk for a moment about the book itself, Teach Your Expertise, because you have a chapter in there. Again, the chapter, as I pointed out before, is on science, energy, and spirituality. And I would like just for you to share, give them a little sneak peek without giving the whole chapter away, a tip that you might have shared in the chapter that will intrigue people enough to say, oh, I need to get that book and read more about Christina.
Yeah. Okay. A tip for you is, because really I talk a lot about one of the things I help people with, right, is a relationship with money, and that's what the program is about. And so one tip for you is, here, I'm gonna have you imagine you're sitting on a bench. There's somebody else sitting on the bench, right? So there's two people sitting on the bench. And what if you were to actually turn away from, like, turn your back to them, maybe even start talking bad about them, like, oh my gosh, you're so weird, you're so mean, I don't like you. How long do you think they're going to stick around? Not
I'm
long,
gone.
right?
I'm gone for sure.
And so think, many of us are doing the same thing with money. We're pushing it away, we're talking bad about it, we're ignoring it. Now, if you were to think of, so really that's something to look at. And if you were to think about money as a person, maybe a best friend, a lover, think about how you would treat it then. How would you speak to it? How would you, respond to it? Would you invite it in? So that is actually something I encourage you to do, that you'll find that will begin to shift how you relate to money when you approach it in this kind of different way.
Yeah, so you're saying basically converse with it like you would converse with your best friend. Think about it the way you would think about someone that you treasure, instead of the negative aspect. because anything negative does repel energetically. I know that's what you're talking about here.
Yeah.
And so what an important tip. And for those of you guys who are viewing, and I know some of you are here live, some of you are in replay, we love that you're here. Is this a gem for you? I'd like to hear from you. What have you heard from Christina that's a gem, a pack your bag moment? To me, the way you think about and converse about money is a very important tip, a gem tip that we all need to pay attention to, because I think subconsciously we may not be paying attention and it comes up a lot. Maybe when you sit down to pay the bills and there doesn't seem to be quite enough, or you're feeling the stress about it, instead of embracing how wonderful it is to have the cash flow that you do have, the income that you do have. So thank you for sharing that tip. That's a really good one, Christina.
It's a fun one too. I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, I like to bring fun to it, and it's in my program. I encourage you to have fun with it. It's doesn't have to be all hard and serious, right? Bring some lightness and some fun to the whole concept of money and abundance.
Have fun with your money. There's play money too. You can have fun with play money.
Yes.
We won't go much deeper into that. I'll let you talk to them about your gift. That is, when they go to your chapter, you have at the end of the chapter a very special gift, which I'm really interested in picking up. So it is called Money Manifesting Mantras. Tell them a little bit about it and why they've got to go get your chapter and get the book to get this free gift.
Yes. Yeah. It's when, first of all, you need to actually use it, like anything, right? It's not going to work unless you use it. So with the mantras, when you actually use them, and you can just pick one or two at a time to focus on. I give you a whole selection for you, but use one or two at a time and really embrace them in your life. And they'll begin to, and have it be sacred, have it be, you're bringing consciousness to it, have it be something that you value, and make it a part of your daily life. And it'll help you begin to really expand what I call your wealth container or your wealth thermostat, and how much money you actually allow yourself to have in your life. It will also help you to eliminate those hidden energetic blocks that can be, maybe stopping you, like you're pushing, you don't realize you're pushing it away, but really open up and actually be inviting money in. And that will really help you to increase the flow of money and abundance in your life. So,
I just had this fabulous image, Christina, of opening the door and greeting money and inviting it in like you would invite a neighbor or a best friend. Yes, won't you please come on in and join us? We're going to have a fabulous time.
Yes, it's actually something I do. I mean, I have a meditation that I did ages ago, which was exactly that.
I love it. So what you're saying with the gift is that you pick out a few of the mantras that really resonate with you at this time and are something you want to work on. And then daily attention to it. I think that paying attention to it is vital. We can't get so busy with all of our to-dos for the rest of the day that we don't pay attention to that, because it's really foundational to our well-being, isn't it? And we need to give it some attention and nurture it. Is that right?
All those ideas, all those thoughts and beliefs we've had have been kind of set in us for many, many years, right? So what we're doing is we're really beginning to shift that the inner game, the inner energetics of what's going on with us, those inner beliefs.
Yeah.
And then taking action. Of course, the science of spirituality, right? You've got to have the inner work, but then you also need to take action on it.
Yeah. Don't go to bed and sleep on it. Well, listen, let's give them a little more information about the book, because I'm sure they're going to want, if they haven't gotten it already, they're going to want to jump on it today. Why today? Because today is the last day you can get the book on Amazon. The book is called Teach Your Expertise, and it is authored by Alina Vincent and 20 other co-authors, of which Christina is one. But here's also the thing. You can get the book, and the link is in the description of the live stream right now. But here's what I want you to pay attention to, because this isn't in the description. When you get the book, this is the very last day that you can also take advantage of Alina's very special bonus of over $1,000 in value coming from Alina. 2 of her programs, plus you'll get the book in PDF format. So if you don't happen to be a Kindle person, you can just get the PDF and read it that way, all for 99 cents. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. And if you want to do that, pick up the book for 99 cents, grab the copy of the receipt, and send it to book@businesssuccessedge.com and just say, I'd like the bonuses. So again, email it, the receipt, to book@businesssuccessedge.com. You've got through the end of today, Monday, the August 31st, to take advantage of this. All right, so let's go ahead and tell them, Christina, why you think this is such a valuable book and an investment for people.
Oh my gosh. First of all, what you just said, it's only 99 cents. Since when can you just invest 99 cents and have it make a big difference in your business? The other thing is that you're going to find, as I have, a huge source of inspiration and ideas for your business. That's such a wide selection, a wide diversity of women, different backgrounds, different businesses, different programs in the book. And so you're going to find somebody that you really relate to. And it's not only their stories, which, oh my gosh, I know these people. I didn't know everybody's stories. This is so fun. But there's really actionable, practical things that you can use right now in your business and in your life, not just in your business. So, and it's a fun, easy read too.
Yes, I would agree. And every single author, co-author, not only tells you about their story of being in the trenches and building their business and having an online course be a really important component of it, but every single author, we're talking 20, provides you with their own special gifts. And these are not ordinary gifts. For instance, your money mantras are going to be so powerful for people so that they can really start paying attention to that, and so that they attract more of it in their life, and then of course take action. So wow, I know I've not seen something quite this valuable offered for 99 cents ever before, so I'm excited about it. Christina, I'm also really pleased that you spent the time with us today to share your story, the journey that you've been on, and how you have moved from the scientific background into becoming a coach and an energetic healer, and what value you bring to everybody here today. I want to thank you so much for being here. Do you have any last words of wisdom that you might like to share with everyone before we say goodbye?
Oh, yes, you matter. You came to this world with special gifts. Listen to what inspires you, what draws you, what your gifts are, and bring your gifts to the world, because the world needs you to be sharing your gifts right now before it's perfect. It's going to make a difference for people right now, and the world needs you to be doing that.
Yeah, right now. And you just said something that I would say is another gem. Before it's perfect.
Yes.
Nothing's ever perfect, nor does it need to be, but it just needs to come from your heart and your spirit. And I think of it as an offering of your life experience and some things that you've learned from it that you can share with others to help uplift them. And we all need more of that right now, more than ever. So thank you again, Christina, for being here. Thank you, all of you viewers, for joining us. Please let us know if you found something valuable here. And also, if you're watching in replay, We'd love to hear from you as well. So put down your gems, your pack your bag moments that Christina shared with us today. Thank you again, Christina, and we'll see you all on the next Inspirational Entrepreneurs Show. Bye bye
Thank
now.
you. Bye.